Good morning, I'm Julio Saenz along with Mauricio Riveros. Today on Be Inspired, we'll meet Erica Cornier, the Vice President of Strategic Planning for the New York and New Jersey Minority Supplier Development Council.
We hope you will be inspired.
Celebrating leaders in Rochester's unique and vibrant business community, we'll meet entrepreneurs whose passion and perseverance have helped push through life's challenges. Join us as we share their stories and journeys to success. It's time to be inspired.
Erica, thank you very much for being our show. Be Inspired, a show that was developed to inspire our community, bring good news, and have the highlight of people like you who have been contributing significantly to our community. So tell us, who is Erica Cornier?
Erica Cornier. Erica Cornier is many things. Erica Cornier is the mom. I also serve as the vice president of my organization. I am very busy doing both right now. And so Erica Cornier has developed wonderful relationships and continues to maintain them.
Erica, you are part of a great organization, the New York, New Jersey Minority Council. It's a great organization that supports the minority firms in New York, New Jersey, and really also work with corporations and help that. So tell us a little bit about the organization first.
Sure. So we're a not-for-profit. We're an affiliate of the National Minority Supplier Development Council. And so being an affiliate of theirs, we're one of 23. Our territory covers the entire state of New York and part of New Jersey. I believe it's central and northern New Jersey. The mission of our organization is to certify minority firms and connect them with Fortune 500 companies or other large purchasing entities. And then we certify firms that are African American, Hispanic, Asian owned, and Native American owned businesses.
And as far as the Rochester area, how long have you been working, or the council, has it been active in this area?
Sure. So there used to be, before I started, 36 councils across the country. Right before I joined, they consolidated down to 23. Upstate New York had its own purchasing organization, but in around 2013, they merged with our downstate council. And so going from 36 to 23, it was a change. I've been with the council about 6 years, so roughly around the same time the merger happened, I joined the council.
Now, Erica, in that mission to connect small, medium-sized minority businesses with large corporations, what takes to do that? What is the effort that needs to be happening? Because it seems like, you know, people who wants to provide or supply services to a very large organization has this gap, and you are trying to reduce that gap. So tell us a little bit how that process works.
It takes time. A lot of time. I think the misconception is you start a business and you're going to get that contract the next day and you're going to start working. That's not how it works. My job, a lot of it is relationship building. Relationship building with the major corporations that I work with, because they have to get to know us, they have to trust our referrals, they have to know that we're vetting the MBEs. On the other side of it, working with the minority firms, they also have to believe in our mission. They have to believe that those companies that we partner with are interested in securing a contract. And so a lot of it is time and a lot of relationship building. It can take a long time before you land that first contract and ready to start work. And then even after you develop that, and even after you land that first contract, how do you maintain it? How do you continue to build that relationship to get to the next level with a corporation?
And what do you see as the main obstacle to folks getting their certification?
A lot of it is paperwork, not having the right paperwork. They have focused on, you know, their idea or what they're going to offer, but they haven't thought about the back end, the taxes, the paperwork, getting that kind of paperwork together. If you're in construction, it's bonding. If you're in another industry, it's you have the right certification. Especially when you work with large purchasing entities, they're going to ask for these types of things. And so making sure that the firms have all of these documents ready to present to an organization is critical.
Now, you have worked with many small minority businesses. What are the most difficult challenge in terms of these companies to be able to success? Unfortunately, there's a high rate of failure on small businesses. What are those characteristics? What are those big challenges that they are facing?
Oftentimes it's access to capital. So if they are interested or they do get a large contract, Are they ready? Do they have the right employees? Are they able to finance that, to bankroll that, if you will, up until they get their first check? It can take 30, 60, 90 days before they even see their first check. That's a big challenge that we're finding more and more with firms, you know, as they continue to grow.
Mm-hmm. And if you're a local business, how realistic is it for you to start looking for contracts with these large companies outside of your area? Is that realistic, or should they concentrate on local options?
That's a good question. It depends on your industry. If it's an industry, if it's IT services, you can look outside because a lot of it that can be done online. If it's construction, then obviously you have to limit, you know, where your potential clients lie. So I always tell folks, even if you're not sure that the right folks are in the room, you still should show up and at least learn about what does it take to do business with them. Because you may not be ready today, but you could be ready tomorrow. And if you aspire to work with that corporation, then you really need to do your homework and get to know who's who, get to know what they need, what their needs are. And you're only going to know that if you start, you know, interviewing, if you will, the corporation, if you know they're going to be at a location to go. So you may not be ready to work yet with them, but you could be with the right preparation.
So Erica, if I'm a minority business and I'm watching the program right now and I want to be working with the council, what I need to do?
Definitely get in contact with me. I can certainly walk you through the process. We now hold pre-certification webinars where my team will work with you and answer all your questions. We actually go through the online application, you know, giving and explaining, if you check one box, this is what it means, this is what you have to submit. That has proven to be very helpful with the firms because that way they can, you know, get a glimpse of the documents that they're going to need for certification. You can always start and stop the application process, and I always recommend start it because it can take a while depending on where you are on your business growth.
For those folks that are sitting at home thinking of starting a business and they're listening to the show, what are some of the areas of greatest need that you see that folks could maybe look into starting their business?
Oh, that's a good question. It depends on what exactly they know, and they have to understand the market. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that's just the bottom line for anything. You have to understand, where are we now? What does the market trend look like now? What is it going to look like in the next 5 years? Mm-hmm. If you have done that homework, then there is worth pursuing. Always follow what kind of client do you want to have. My particular industry focus on private corporations. Do you want to do a business to business? Do you want to do a business to consumer? Understanding that then can lead, you know, the potential way of starting your business. But I think a lot of homework has to be done. I think if you're interested in starting a business, it's not just saying, I have an idea, let me start the business. No, it's doing that background homework, understanding really what the industry looks like, what are the potential clients, who are your competitors, to see if there really is room for growth in that.
That's important. I think it's fundamental to do the homework, like you said. Really analyze what is the market, what are the opportunities, and I think each market is different. Mm-hmm. But I think, Erica, when the council was created, the idea was how we can get that connection in place. Now, you do a lot of matchmakers and you do a lot of these events. Tell us a little bit about that and what is coming in terms of the council and the initiatives that you have here in Rochester.
Sure. So annually, we've put on the Upstate New York Regional Conference and Exchange. That's an opportunity to have corporations, some of our government folks, other partner organizations come and kind of learn about what's going on in upstate New York in terms of minority businesses. So this past year, we had our sister cities. We had City of Syracuse, City of Buffalo, City of Utica come and talk about what are they seeing in terms of MBEs. That was a great conference and a great panel discussion because you got to hear from the actual cities. Part of that event is also a matchmaker. In this case, we've done a marketplace session where we gather a corporation and our firms can sit around and talk about the different, what they offer. The corporation can share if there's any opportunities. The great thing about that is there's always an opportunity to do business with each other. And so sitting next to another minority firm, one might view as a competition, but it's actually quite the opposite. It's an opportunity to offer or exchange services, depending on the niche that you're in. And so a lot of my events really tailor to an opportunity to network, an opportunity to connect, an opportunity to build a relationship. People will do business with those they like, know, and they trust. And I always say, I am in the business of connecting. Now, whether they like you and whether they want to do business, that's up to them and to you. However, I will provide a venue and an opportunity for the networking to happen.
But now, Erica, you are a leader, and be able to do what you do, you need to do a lot of things. So tell us a little bit about your personal experience. Be able to take the position that you are taking, but you have passed through a lot of challenges. So tell us a little bit about Erica Cornier in that aspect.
Sure. So my background is very diverse. I started out, I have a bachelor's degree in Management Information Systems from RIT. And right after I graduated, I went to work for a family-owned business. And that was very different than anything I had ever experienced up until that point. When you work for a family-owned business, you wear a lot of different hats. And so that sudden immersion into owning your own business with my father and keeping busy and handling different aspects really opened my eyes. Shortly after that, about 6 years I was with him, then I went to go work at RIT, an entirely different scenario there. There I acquired new skills, I developed as a person on a professional level. I ended up getting a master's degree while I was there in environmental health and safety. After about 6 years there, or 7 years there, I went to now work at the council. And so that diverse background has been fascinating for me now, because it taught me that not just one skill or one talent that I learned in one job was going to carry me through. It was all the different things I had to learn and acquire that prepared me for this job. And so that has been probably one of my greatest achievements, was diversifying my skills in so many different backgrounds. And so now when I speak to one of my minority business owners, I can understand his frustration when he puts out a contract. Or if I talk to some of my IT firms, I somewhat still understand what they're talking about. And I understand the safety portion of when I talk to my construction firms. And so that diverse background has proved beneficial now in my new role.
Thank you, Erica. We'll be back with more after these messages. We manage relationships across the entire state.
It can be challenging. Working as the vice president of this organization, I travel often to New York and I meet different folks there, and then I come back to Rochester and I go to Syracuse and then I go to New Jersey. And it's really all about keeping in contact, even if it is for a cup of coffee. It means knowing that you can reach out to me if you need something, whether it's voicemail, email, text message, quick question. It's being that way, staying in communication. So oftentimes I will alert some folks that I haven't seen. I'm going to be in the area. Hey, it'd be great to get a cup of coffee. Let's just catch up. When I come back to Rochester, it's hey, I'm in town. Let's have lunch. Or it's those kinds of things that have proven beneficial. And then keeping your word when you do these follow-ups, right? So it's not just meeting, cup of coffee and goodbye, but it's the follow-up. Okay, what did I promise him? What did I promise her? To keep that relationship alive, you have to cultivate it, and it has to mean something.
Absolutely.
Relationships are fundamental in business. Now, Erica Cornier, what is the vision for the council in the years to come? Things are changing. There is a lot of technology innovation, eruption of businesses, the structure of business, the traditional business is going away. What's your take on what's the future?
Originally, it was all about certification. It was certify, certify, certify. And that's good. However, you need to be able to provide suppliers of scale in order to do these contracts and fulfill these contracts. And so some of the things that we're working on is building more technical assistance programs to assist our minority firms to take them to the next level. That could mean sharpening their marketing skills, their sales skills, their bookkeeping skills, financial literacy type skills. Continue to provide opportunities where a corporation can talk about what does it take to do business with them. No committal, just an opportunity to learn. So we're kind of taking a step back and sharpening our toolbox, if you will, to then go forward. And I think that is needed. And I think the corporations appreciate that and our suppliers appreciate that. Because you can always attend a sales class and learn something. You can always attend a financial class and take something away. And so how are you able to attend that type of instruction, take it back, refine your business, and then put your foot forward?
Well, that's powerful, and I think there is an element of value added also to work with diverse organizations. That's bringing a new way to thinking, a new way to approach. Now, considering the background of diverse and how diverse we are as a nation, what do you think is the future in terms of minority businesses? You think that now we are finally pushing up this threshold and getting businesses that are minority businesses to get part of larger organizations, and how they are now giving back to the minority businesses? In some point, the council has helped them to grow, and now they are in this high level. I know that there are cases that in DC and other places where very large minority firms that have been very successful. So how that works, going back and giving back to that community from them?
Having minority firms give back to their communities, I see it, especially in this area, fantastic. I see a lot of minority firms mentoring other firms. I see that a lot. I often get copied in on the emails where you do an introduction and he says, sure, let's meet for coffee, and they meet for coffee, and then we're going to continue our discussions, and then you go to an event, and there they are together, maybe a joint venture, maybe they're taking it to the next level. So I'm definitely seeing firms give back, whether it's to their communities, whether it's mentoring another firm. We've had some firms in our network that are now conducting workshops to other firms or newly certified firms, kind of giving them the ins and outs of when you go to an event, this is what you should be doing. This is what the follow-up should look like. This is what you shouldn't do. And so I think it's great because even though I can tell them, I am not in their position in terms of a business owner. So hearing it from a fellow colleague, I think is much more valuable and really resonates with them.
You mentioned all the traveling you do. How do you manage your time? What's your advice to folks watching that are business owners, maybe working 24 hours a day? How do you manage your time?
I don't know if I'm great at it. Having a family keeps you grounded, and so finding time to do what's right and do what's best, taking that time to put things in perspective. I live by my calendar, both calendars, my work calendar and my personal calendar. I try to keep them separate, but sometimes there's times where they have to merge, and I have to see where I have to be for one appointment or the other. And so it's very difficult. It's trying to balance the work-life balance. It can be hard, but I think you can do it. It's just you have to be very organized. There is no time you can't slack off, because if you slack off one day, it affects the rest of the week. And so, as you know, it can take a toll on the whole week.
Working with the council, you were able to see, of course, the growth in New York, New Jersey areas, the minority cosmopolitan areas, very international. What is happening upstate? Do you see an influx or more diversity? What is happening in upstate New York?
I think in upstate New York, I often say New York has diversity in front of them at all points. Upstate New York, we're seeing more and more of that. I'm seeing more minority firms get in contact with me. When I first took this job, I was knocking on their doors. Hey, you want to get certified? This is what we offer. Now I'm seeing minority firms. I heard about you. What is this? I represent, we certify based on ethnicity, and I'm here in upstate New York. The women's group that they have, they don't really have a presence up here, and so how do I help those WBEs as well? And so I do see an influx of interest. I see an influx of certification. The state of New York now has folks in their MWBE division here in the upstate area. So I'm seeing that they see the value of being here and being present. And so for me, it's exciting to have more partners, if you will, in this mission.
Fantastic. And lastly, I wanted to ask you, if you were to mention where the hot areas are of the types of business, we talked about the diversity, where do you see the most growth? Is it in restaurants? Is it in technology?
The technology market, there are a lot of firms in it, but I think there's always room for everyone. Oftentimes, I'll talk to an IT staffing firm, and they'll say, there is enough for all of us to be in there. So I think following what's going on the technology-wise. So if you are in the technology space, knowing how that impacts all of the different industries, I think is valuable. If you're in healthcare, we host an event on the healthcare symposium, hearing what a large healthcare institution says about how they're evaluating their IT system and the security that they're bringing and all the laws that are being associated with that. It's fascinating. Hearing about what's going on in any other industry, I think, again, and I hate to sound repetitive, but I think doing your homework, and I think technology is always going to impact something. Whether it's the construction industry, any new apps that are out there developed for that industry, healthcare, financial services, another one that we work with. And so learning about, I think, technology is a big one that we see a lot.
Erica, throughout this interview, an excitement came to me, and the excitement is to see that the true United States is coming more and more together through a small minority businesses, diversity, which is extremely important, a beautiful country with different colors, with different races, but all together creating this amazing economy that we are living. So thank you so much for what you do, and thank you for being in Be Inspired today.
Next week on Be Inspired, we'll meet Orlando Rivera, owner of his own real estate business and a key contributor to the community through many organizations. To watch today's episode and the complete interviews of our guests, go to rochesterfirst.com/beinspired. For more great talk with Rochester's entrepreneurs, listen to Poder 97.1, Saturdays at 9 a.m. For Mauricio Riveros, I'm Julio Saenz. We'll see you next week on Be Inspired.